All right, let's go move on. Dr. Fauci, more lab leak stuff happening, both on Capitol Hill and in terms of the fallout from that new Energy Department report. The first, most importantly, Dr. Fauci in retirement, but of course going back to his old home over on CNN. Anderson Cooper, to his credit, actually asked Fauci about the Energy Department finding that it almost certainly was a lab leak, I guess with low confidence, but the FBI says it with moderate confidence. And Fauci really tries to wiggle his way out of this one. Let's take a listen.
Are the FBI and Energy Department right about the lab leak?
Well, it's very tough to tell that, Anderson, because they're talking about information that they have that we don't have privy to, so we don't really know. They have made opinions on low confidence from the Department of Energy and moderate confidence, I believe, from the FBI. So I don't think there's a really correct and verifiable answer to your question. It's just still remains unknown.
How important is it to figure it out?
Well, it is, Anderson, because you want to make sure that whichever of those alternatives it is, that we do whatever we can to prevent it from happening in the future, because we have had outbreaks before. I mean, we had SARS-CoV-1, which was clearly shown to go from a bat to a civet cat to a human. And if there's a possibility, which there is, certainly, we haven't ruled it out, of there being lab leak, there are things that you can do to prevent the recurrence of these things. For example, the data showing that it might be a natural occurrence would make you want to be very careful about the animal-human interface and make sure that we have strict regulation of bringing animals into wet markets. If it turns out to be a lab leak, you want to be very much more stringent in the controls of the experiments that you allow to be done. So it is relevant to understand. Whether or not we ever will know, Anderson, I'm not sure.
Just a complete weasel and still pushing the natural origin hype. That is what drives me mad. I mean, still the Chinese still are not pushing wet market. He's the last man on earth who believes in the wet market theory.
I mean, here's what we have said for a long time. If there is even a possibility that is either of these things, you should be doing the things that he says.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting in the controls, putting in the regulations, because you know it's possible it came from natural evidence. And you know it's possible it came from that's really all you need to know. And so for me, the part at the end where he's like, we just may never know.
Yeah. It's like, we won't know because of you.
That's the giveaway of like, he doesn't want anyone to do anything until you have 100% proven that it is, you know, definitively smoking gun, that it came out of a lab. And so that's now his dodge, because it's now too far down the road where you can't just say, no, absolutely, no, it wasn't a lab leak, et cetera, et cetera. So now he's got to say, well, we just may never know. And if we do find out, then of course we should do something, but we probably never
We had one chance at a smoking gun, and it was January of 2020 when he decided to cover up the lab leak. That was it. That's the only chance that we ever had, because if he had not used his influence to prompt that investigation and that paper to cover up the lab leak, then the US government might have been able to get some of the early intelligence coming out of China, done the original research. At this point, the Chinese have totally muddied the waters. They've covered it up. Now they're going after Elon and anybody else who wants to talk about lab leak. And lo and behold, gain of function research is chugging right along here in the United States. We are spending more on gain of function research today as a country, both from private and public sector, than we did before the pandemic. And not a single new safety mechanism that has been put into place because of the actions of this man. That is why, I mean, watching that, it's maddening. And also what really pisses me off, too, is Anderson and the people who happen to interview him. It's such a softball way of like, are they right? Are they not? Ask him about the paper. Ask about the email. Ask
about
why
that
did you
original
cover that
call.
up? Yes, like the original call. You said this. Then May of 2020, you went on National Geographic and said there's no chance of a lab leak. Now you're saying it's open. What changed, Dr. Fauci? That's what an actual interview with this man would look like. They let him skate completely.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.